Hello everyone and welcome to the first video on this channel, I'm guessing. For those of you that don't know, we are the Psychologist, or I am the Psychologist. I usually bring on other guests that, have expertise in other areas, for example, D&D, other forms of psychology. I am a psychologist, and on Twitch usually me and whoever else I'm with, usually give out advice or, whatever is going on in your life, we usually talk about a lot of different psychological themes. We were actually given an idea by Twitch, which is to go ahead and, diagnose / break down some anime. So today we are going to go ahead and get started with ReZero. I actually have my pen and paper here, and I'll be stopping a lot. I'll be going through the whole motion a lot. We'll be doing some breakdowns about what might be happening. I might be doing some speculation, so feel free to go ahead and let me know if I'm close or not. But please, no spoilers. Let this just ride out generally through, and we'll go from there. And also, if you guys have any recommendations, please leave it down in the comments below. Hit that like button, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, let's see how this turns out. Multiple memories happening at once? Well, definitely not multiple memories now. Why do I have a feeling that this is just going to go wrong really quickly? Ooh, yeah, no, it already did. Oh god. Why does it seem to me, right, just really quickly based off of the first introduction, and especially with his eyes, for me, like, if I was just doing a non-verbal assessment, that would be one of the first things that I'd point out, is it doesn't seem as though there's light to his eyes. It's as though, we go through a routine almost every day, and sometimes we don't think about that routine, and sometimes, it's like when you get up, you eat breakfast, you go to the restroom, you brush your teeth, you do whatever you have to do, right? But for him, just looking at his eyes, looking at the way his tonality is going, and just the way that he's dressed currently, I don't know, it seems to me as though, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just making total assumptions at the moment. It seems to me as though he might be a little depressed. Though granted, those memory things are really throwing me through a loop at the moment. I don't know what to expect, but I'll put in, maybe some depression and anxiety would be one of the first things I'd be leaning to. I still don't know which one's which in terms of like which one I would lead to. Currently at the moment, I'm just not seeing any life in his eye and his verbal, like non-verbal communication. His tonality is pretty flat or monotone for the most part. So we'll see. All right, let's keep going. And here goes to prove my point, right? So earlier I was talking about no life being in his eyes, and right here at exactly 2 minutes and 11 seconds, you actually get to see a little bit of that like light or glimmer return. Now I'm kind of wondering why this is happening, right? So is it the mundane world that he was in just wasn't satisfying him, right? So does it have anything to do with like environmental consequences or the constructs of society in general where he was at, that he just didn't feel as though he was living up to expectations or, growing as a person? Because to be honest, if this would have happened in a normal person, from one moment you're in this location, another moment you're in another world, you would be freaking out, right? Granted, I know that this is anime, but I'm trying to just like ground it in reality a little bit and just try and break it down piece by piece, right? So if you were to go ahead and be taken to another world, for me, as an individual, the first thing that pops into my head or my mind right off the bat is, what would happen to my family, right? And granted, I don't know what's going to happen, what's going to come through off of this, but I just wanted to go ahead and pause it right here and show you guys what I was talking about in terms of the glimmer in his eyes, and maybe it's just new lease on life or something. Let's find out. Wow, okay. What a. To be honest, that's what I would have done as well. Alright. Let's talk a little bit about expectations and environmental disillusion, right? So, seeing him, for me, this is already taking a quick turn downwards in terms of, like, usually, even for me, if I were to be transported into another world, I would also think, like, hey, maybe it's a video game. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe this is all just a big, horrible dream. Or, maybe I have magic powers. Maybe it's like D&D or something, right? But, right, seeing as though where he's going, he's kind of being pushed back. You can kind of see, frame by frame, as each event happens, sort of the glimmer in his eye is starting to die down as well. I wonder, right? And please, no spoilers. You guys can tell me if I'm getting close or not. You guys can be like, no, you're completely wrong, bro. If the expectations that he has on himself are higher than what they should be, because he comes in here thinking that he could blast some high level spells right off the bat. Um, Granted, he's learning about the world, he's learning about everything around him, which normal to do, right? But just seeing seeing his sort of not narcissistic, but seeing the way that like right off the bat he tried to do a first fireball or whatever type of spell right off as soon as he got there, it's just interesting to see that mind at work. So again, what sort of expectations does he have for himself, and does he think that he will succeed or meet those expectations? If he has them too high, that can be such a burden. But anyway, let's continue on from here. Damn, who has a cell phone like that? Again, 503. Again, proves my point that he had sort of this expectation that if he was summoned to this world or if he was brought into this world, he must be some kind of top tier player, some type of hero in this overall story. Just interesting to point out. Ooh, okay, starting off strong with martial arts. Okay, what a turn. What a interesting turn that it's had. So this brings up my next point, my next set of assumptions, right? So anybody that usually has a familiar or someone that clearly goes into battle with them or can use magic in any way, shape, or form, right? You'll usually develop an attachment with them. An attachment theory, usually states it's one of a couple of things, right? Usually they're secure, avoidant, or anxious attachments, a style way to put it. So I'm really curious, right, as to, and just the way that they were talking back and forth, just that first introductory line, it seems to me as though they're really close, more close than I guess most familiars would be. I'm not sure how this world works, but just stating off of what I'm seeing, it seems as though they have a pretty close, secure attachment style. We'll go from there. Interesting to note that just the way that they were going back and forth, it seems to me at least, as though they've been together for a little while. So they do have that secure attachment style, even more so, sort of the power dynamic of joking around and going, the way that one was interacting with the other, I would put it more into like a family type of attachment, like familiar um, type of thing. Granted, I don't know anything else about this world. I'm just stating out what's being presented right off the bat. Uh, could also be culturally different, but just the interaction for me, it would be like something I would have with like an older sibling or even my dad, right? So it's sort of that father daughter or older brother sister type of banter that they were having. So yeah, I hope I'm right. Yeah, let's continue from that.
だからその分に答えてもらうんだから。恩着せがましい感じを演出しつつ普通のお願いじゃね。そんなことはない。あなた、盗まれた気象には心当たりあるでしょ。気象気象ってや身分を表すバッジみたいなもんだ。
So something that's interesting just about the way that she's speaking, right, is compared to her normal speech that she was using previously, it's a lot more accelerated. There's a lot more rhythmic touch to it, and for me, like that's someone that's sort of, I don't know, building up a little bit of, right off the bat, the nonverbal cues. Is there a little bit of anxiety, anxiousness? Granted, there is anxiousness to go ahead and get her insignia, right? But just the demeanor as to what is being talked about or the way that it's being presented, for me, it's a little bit more of a rush, sort of trying to establish your presence, but at the same time trying to not, I don't know, come off as a bad person. It's weird. It is interesting. So we'll continue.
でもあなたが何にも知らないって情報を私に教えてくれたわけだから、ちゃんと怪我を治した分の話はしたものね。じゃあ急いでるからもう行くわね。怪我は一通り治ってるはずだけど、次からは人気のない路地に一人で入るなんて危ないことはするべきじゃないわね。これは心配じゃなくて忠告。次に同じような場面に出くわしても私があなたを助けるメリットがないものだから期待しちゃダメだからね。ごめんね、素直じゃないんだようちの子。変に思わないであげて。そんなレベルじゃねえだろ。大切なもん盗まれて急いでんのに俺のこと助けてくれて、おまけに見ず知らずの俺に負い目を感じさせないように下手くそすぎるフォローまでして、そんな生き方。
Puck sort of bringing out, that she's being insecure or that, she's just a little insecure. And a lot of her statements, you can easily, like, I won't help you again. I have a feeling we're probably going to see her throughout the series, of course, right? Makes me wonder, though, right, if aside from just that, like, quick interaction, trying to, because usually when we meet a new person, we try and gauge, at least normally, how interested they are, or what's happening. Like, can we get along with this individual? Can we not? For me, it either makes me wonder if she has a lot of friends or if she doesn't have any friends. What is her support network in this, and what is his support network in this as well? Because granted, just seeing from right off the top, from the beginning, when you didn't see any glare or glow in his eyes, any motivation, right? Now you can tell that he's like motivated to go ahead and go for her, or, like go and like she grabbed to stop him, like he's gonna run after her, right? So for me, is does he have an unhealthy habit of forming attachments? And I know I might just be shooting in the dark here, but interesting to know.
ひょっとすると私より危ない立場なんじゃ。スバルって。おお、イエス、俺の名前。でもこうしてみると結構体鍛えてるみたいだね。毎日筋トレだけはね。ま、自宅の森人引きこもりとしてはそんぐらいは当然ってもんだ。
1450. Imagine how scary that would be, right? To be put into an environment where you don't know the language, the written language at least. You don't know where you are. You don't know the people's culture. It would be such a shock, right? And he's just taking it all in like it's nothing. Granted, it could be anime plot armor or protag plot armor here, but like, it's interesting. Also, is he simping? Like, my boy, My boy, I'm starting to like you here. Are you simping for this girl? Um, and something that I noticed out of his responses a little bit, and it's barely even been like 14 minutes in, right? And I'm sorry I have to keep like stopping and going, stopping and going. I think it's just the most appropriate way to go ahead and get my opinion out there, and make sure that we're doing it in fair use. So one of the things that I notice is, he keeps showboating. He keeps on putting on this bigger persona, right? Um, it's it seems as though he's prideful. Like he has a lot of pride into what he's saying or what he's doing. Granted, he might be failing at it, right? He might be lost in the middle of Lagunica. That was really American Lagunica, and like not really know where else to go other than like be the best version of himself that he's presenting, and that must be tiring. And I wonder if it will show up later on. Anyway,
私はサテラ。仮名はないの。サテラとそう呼ぶといいわ。
そうか。サテラか。いい名前だ。
what?
趣味が悪いよ。
What?
んじゃ、聞き込み再開
Okay.
行こうぜ。
That reaction though.
ねえ、スバル。
What?
迷子になってる。
She seems to have Satela. Although that reaction throws me off, guys. It throws me off so hard. She seems to have, her walls up. She seems to have a lot of boundaries. And again, this throws me back into the whole attachment thing. Why did Puck react that way? And I know I'm stopping a lot, and I'm stopping a lot again because it allows me to analyze everything that's going on. Puck's reaction to her saying her name throws me off, so it makes me wonder what's going on here. I love Puck already. But she really does set some clear boundaries, and it's as though she's surprised at the fact that he's trying to be there with her, even though she clearly is putting up these walls, right?
年の差ないと思うぜ。
その予想当てにならないと思う。私、ハーフエルフだから。
Half elf, cool. +2 in dexterity, I believe, and charisma in D&D? Not sure. I'll check the players. For me, right? Instantly, what it's telling me is that sort of her revealing that she's a half elf seemed like a genuine moment, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that as it is, just because the reaction that her and Puck had it was adorable, right? So I wonder. What I wonder is, am I right about her not having a lot of friends, or a lot of people accept her for who she is? Because that reaction towards Subaru being completely accepting and telling her that she's beautiful because she's a half elf, it's really nice. And again, there might be a lot of stigma. I'm not sure about the culture in general, or what this culture is, or what they like or what they don't like. But it just stood out for me. So let's.
まだ精霊になる前の存在のこと。時間が経って成長して力と自意識が芽生えるとパックみたいな立派な精霊になる。
Okay, so there's different forms of spirits available. Keeping up for the most part, I think.
頑張って。
頑張る。俺が先に入るから、君は外見張ってて。帰りは遅くならないけど、先に行こう。
Okay. This whole little interaction here, for me, it says a lot. So she purposely went with him, even though he was holding her back, right? What she clearly stated. But the look in his eyes when she tells him, like, I'll try believing in you. When she, for me, it's like, I'll try believing in you. You can clearly see that, like, it's something that he's always, probably something he's always wanted to hear, or something that, like, just feeds into him so nicely. What's going on?
それじゃ仕方ない。仕方ないのよ。
No shit, you're in deep shit. What? What a dark turn. What? What? I'm so shocked. What?
やばい。これは本気でやばい。
Oh, okay. This explains the beginning.
スバル、
ダメだ。逃げろ。早く。
Okay, I'm quickly stopping it right here because this just blew my mind for a second. For a solid second, I was just like, what is going on? And I'm trying to ground this again in realism and like what would happen. Well, realism and anime, it's really hard to mix. But what would happen if a person did go through this, right? So I'm just taking it as a save point, right? He somehow hit the save button, save whatever, when he met this dude, this market person, and he's able to return to it. And I'm just drawing it out in my sketchbook, my little notebook here with all the notes, in order, like, because clearly he was dying. Clearly he was feeling all this pain, and clearly he just saw that the girl that he was getting really attached to, Satala, uh, you know, he got really attached to her, and he can clearly tell that he likes her or whatever. But he died. He promised that he would save her, and then he returned to the save point, right? My question is, all that pain, right? Because he was clearly like whoever got him probably in the guts or something, disemboweled him. All that pain he's feeling, does it transfer through? And if it does that cause a psyche break? Now, usually a psyche break, at least in my terms, my definitions in this set, is, hitting emotional highs and emotional lows rather quickly. So imagine, and cause a little bit of like trauma, that's right off the bat trauma. I wonder if later on, like, if he keeps going through this, if this is the theme of the show, which is him literally just like returning to the save point, does it affect him? Can he mentally handle that? And yeah, all right. Well, that's a big question there. And all right, we'll go from there. All right, guys. I've been taking a lot of notes, and granted, I know I'm only showing you little bits and slices throughout, but this is how an analysis goes, and this is how I'm able to diagnose sort of the mentality of the world, the culture, and our characters as to what's happening, right? So personally, and I guess this is just a personal, for me, that's probably one of the first things I would have done. Is you brought like food with you and clothes with you from a different culture, right? Try and find out its value, and especially with your cell phone that you clearly have on you, try and see what good, like, how much does it go for? What good is it in this world? And also, can you even contact the outside world? If you have your parents, can you contact them? And last but not least, can your parents contact you, or can your family members contact you? So it's just interesting. That's sort of like the first thing I would have done. Let's go see how much all of this is worth, how much my ramen is, how much these potato chips are. So, yeah.
帰ることじゃな。さあ。なんだよ。
Okay. I'm sort of moving my head because by her, we know that she's the killer, right? Or at least we can make that logical assumption that she's the one that kills everyone. She says that her client is the one that gave her coins, right? And apparently, 10 holy coins is a lot of money, right? It's a significant amount of money. And so, just based on those judgments, we can already start assuming that they're higher class. Whoever hired this individual, this killer, is a higher class individual, probably someone with power in just this world. So, just interesting to throw it out there. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll find out. Who's them? Who is them?
バカ死ぬ気か。あら、避けられてしまったわね。
Oh, so you're with them, right? So is the insinuation here that essentially he is joining with Satala and Puck? And if so, how does she know about them? This is, or is, because clearly, she didn't care about the insignia until it was brought up that he was going to return it to Satala. What a boss. Ah. Okay. I don't even know what to say. I'm literally just speechless at this moment. Oh, no way. No way. Ah. Dude. Dude. You're literally fighting someone with blades, dude. Oh my god. Wow. I'm literally just like, what do I say? What do I do? What? What the f-
どうしたよ兄ちゃん、急にほうけとずらして。お兄ちゃん、大丈夫か？
わけわかんね
What is going on, guys?
その魔女の名前で呼んでどういうつもりなの？
So I'm guessing I was right. That wasn't her name. She was concealing something. So Satala is not her name, right? But I was literally just speechless for like the last 5-6 minutes of just fighting and death and everything. Like, what a turn! I came into this anime and like at first I was like, okay, there's gonna be we can easily do some character analysis as to what's happening, what's going on. Maybe make some bold statements, some bold calls, and maybe lose it halfway through, which is totally fine, right? This is sort of what the show's about, and what like my channel is about, is going ahead and making some diagnoses, or some pretend diagnoses on these characters, and about the world, the culture, how it might affect a person psychologically. But wow, it took such an interesting and such a dark turn. In a way that, like, I think it's more of the exploration of a man's psyche and resolve, right? And this is sort of where I'm leaning to, because at the end it's sort of, I mentioned previously about the whole a person feeling pain over and over and over and over again, like it can break them, it can cause trauma, and you can already start seeing the changes in him, and a desperation start to reek up. And granted, the only thing he has is his pride, so. With that being said, guys, let me know if I hit anything on the head or if I just failed completely, which is fine. This is the whole thing about anime, is you never really know where it's going to go. If you guys would like to see me, keep doing these reactions, let me know. Let me know if you guys want me to do a part 2 and just go episode by episode and keep, analyzing everything. I know that this has 2 seasons, I believe. So let me know if you guys want me to go ahead and like dive in deeper into ReZero, or if there's another anime. If you guys suggest other anime for me to go ahead and dissect, do some character analysis, I will go ahead and do that as well. And yeah, no, I know that the camera stream quality and everything, it's not the best, obviously, but it will slowly but surely get better as the channel moves on. Same thing with Twitch, and if you guys want to go ahead and follow us on Twitch or follow me on Twitch, it's Psyculturists at Twitch as well. So feel free, leave a comment, subscribe, like, guys, and we'll go from there. And make sure to practice some self-care. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.